Hello everyone and welcome to our race commentary video for the latest round of the Puma Cup at Brands Hatch. Once again we've got Ian Howard driving for us this year, and just so you know, we've got arrive and drives available for next year, so if you like what Ian got up to then drop me a line and we can have a chat about things. So first things first, you can see a massive crack on the window. This is how it happened in qualifying on the Saturday morning, following Gary Barlow up Paddock Hill towards Druids, and Gary's engine let go in fairly big way, sad to see, and that's why our vision is slightly obscured for the remainder of this video. Now this is the first time Woodstock's been at the track in 6 years without me there, because I'm on my holidays in Nashville. There's me on Broadway, the Opry, eating food, Graceland, hanging with Johnny Cash, and with my mate Jules at the Nashville Speedway. But it's okay because Mark and Mike, who will henceforth be known as M&M, were looking after Ian this weekend. That's how qualifying went. We were really pleased. Ian managed to put it on pole position. It was a fraught session. It was up and down all the way, but in the last few minutes, Ian managed to bag first place, which was great news. So to the race start, it's a rolling start here at Brands Hatch, and I'm afraid we don't have a rear view camera for you this weekend. There was a problem with it, so it's all eyes forward this time. Starting on the inside at Brands is helpful because you've got Paddock Hill, which is a notorious right-hander that drops away from you. It's fairly high speed, and you do not want to be hung out to dry around the outside of Paddock on lap 1. So nice and steady in formation, wait for the green flag. We've got Luke and Gareth behind us. There's the green. Go, 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 go. So we're in P1. Decent start by Ian. He's managed to stay over to the inside. You can see him checking the mirrors. And Alfie Jones on the inside. He had a mechanical failure. Now Ian, that was a bit tricky. Ian was probably hoping to get that Fiesta behind him, so that it's between us, Gareth and Luke. But up to Druids, we're still in first, but there's Luke on the... No, that's Gareth on the outside. Ian's missed the gear. He'll be kicking himself about that. He missed the gear on the apex and it's cost him on the exit as well. And there's Luke diving up the inside for third position round Graham Hill Bend. Good, that's not good. But it's lap 1. It's a long race. There's plenty of time to go. And, I know Ian will be really angry at himself right now because first position to third in 3 corners because of one mistake. That's how tight the Puma Cup is. One mistake can cost you 3 places. But we've got a really good run coming out of Clark Curve. And are we having there's a yellow flag. Right, do you remember on the very first corner we saw Alfie Jones stopped on the inside? That has caused a safety car while we get things tidied up. So we fast forwarded through the safety car period and we rejoin in third place as we're about to go green coming over the line. You'll notice there's a few spots of rain on the window. I wasn't there. I was on the other side of the Atlantic, so I've got no idea how heavy this rain actually was, but Ian's not using his windscreen wipers, so I'm guessing it's not too bad. So, right, hammer down then. Let's have another go. We're in third position. Gareth is up ahead in the blue Puma, 2 cars ahead of us. There's the white Fiesta, which got a little bit of a wobble there around Paddock, and then there's Luke. Now Luke will not want that Fiesta in between him and Gareth, so he's thrown it up the inside at Druids, and there's another red and black car. I think that's also a Fiesta. Gareth will be trying to get as many cars between him and Luke as possible. Luke will be trying the opposite, and of course Ian's got the bit between his teeth to try and get the gap closed back up. Now although the Pumas are really good on the brakes around the corners, we do lack a bit of power compared to the other classes, as you should know by now if you've been watching the videos, and that explains why the Fiesta was able to get ahead of Luke going into Clark Curve. But Luke got a good exit, as did Ian for that matter, down into 4th gear, flat out down the start line. Now Luke will be trying to get up the inside at Paddock Hill, but the Fiesta's just going to be pulling away a little bit too much, and we saw the red and black one up ahead. That's managed to get ahead of Gareth as well. So we've now got the top 3 Pumas, 1, 2, 3, with the little white Fiesta. And what's this on the inside? Is that a Renault Clio? It's caught, yeah, bit congested down here. Who can get through? Are we all through safe? Yeah, it looks like it. It looks fine. So, it's hectic, isn't it? This is the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. It is hectic. Luke's managed to hang it on the outside at Graham Hill. Ian's going to follow him, but we're running out of road. Oh, I had to get out of it. That was sensible driving by Ian. The Fiesta in front of us should have moved over and given us more racing room. We were alongside enough. But, oh, who's there? There goes the full James car flying around the outside. Yeah, that wasn't going to stick, I don't think. So Ian dropped to fourth periodically. And look at Gareth and Luke up ahead, banging archers. So we're side by side with Nick and Neil in the white car. Gareth and Luke are door bashing up front. This is hectic. I was about to tell you that Brands Hatch really does promote hectic motorsport. Oh, we've lost another gear. Ah, that's annoying. Yeah, and we've lost momentum. Zach's now got us on the outside. Can we hang on at the... Nah. Yeah, better safe than sorry there, Ian. Good thinking, mate. Wow, okay. I was just going to talk about how Brands Hatch promotes hectic motorsport. It's a relentless circuit. You know, it's corner after corner after corner. And most of them are fairly high speed with the exception of Druids. So there's not much overtaking opportunity. But if you make a mistake, you get really, really penalised by it. So we're now down in 5th place. We've gone from pole position to 5th place out of 6. Now, when I saw the lineup for this race, I thought anyone could win it and anyone could be 6th because everybody is quick in the Puma Cup these days. Everybody's quick. Everyone's cars are sorted out. People have got plenty of experience and the grids are tight. And that's testament to it. 1st place to 5th in a matter of laps. And look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Pumas with a Fiesta from another class in the mix as well. Now, everyone will be trying to avoid that Fiesta to clear it, to keep it behind, but it's got really good grunt and a straight line, so we're never ever going to shake it off. That Fiesta is always going to be racing in the pack with us around this circuit. It's just part and parcel of multi-class racing, and in the CSCC, that's exactly what we've got. Without counting on the timing sheets, I think we've got 8 different classes of cars on the track today. And given that we get round Brands, whoa, big slide for Zach there. Oh, hang on, I'll come back to that. Right, this is nuts. Right, so Luke, Gareth's ahead. Luke. Zach's going up the inside of Nick or Neil. I can't remember whether Nick started in the car or Neil did. But either way, the car's flying. It's always had good straight line speed, that car, and it showed there. Zach's having a look to the inside. Ian is very sensible here. He's kind of not getting involved, just sort of staying close enough to take advantage if something happens. But oh, look at the defending going on. Zach to the whoa, Neil or Nick, big slide. Oh, that's gutting. Right, it's gutting for Neil or Nick that they got the slide, but Ian had nowhere to go. It's one of those, if you dive to the inside, you'll another slide there. Flipping out. Is the track getting a bit greasy? Is there some oil down? We've now got somebody flying up the inside of us. That's a different class. So we're not. Oh, and there's Adam. I presume Adam in the white Fiesta. He's the leader at the moment. So it's not taken them long to come around and catch us. So now this is awkward because it's hectic up front. We've got the leaders coming from behind us. And yeah, Ian, very sensibly, get in the pits, mate. Get out of it. Whoa, mind the pit wall. Luke clearly thought the same thing as well. Get out the pits, try and find a bit of a gap when we come out and put some laps in there instead. Now, Ian missed the pit timer there, and I've sped up this bit of the film because we're static for about 90 seconds. Yeah, we missed the pit timer, so the plan now is just to go out a little bit behind Luke. There goes Luke. There we go. Our pit stop was 1 minute 33 and we can get it to minute 30, so technically we lost 3 seconds there, but given the timing mishap, only losing 3 seconds isn't too bad. Now, I don't know what position we're in now because I wasn't at the track, I was on holiday, but the timing, for reasons that will come clear later on, the timing, the TSL stuff, is very difficult to follow in this race after the race, so I'm a bit unsure where things are. However, we know that Luke was second when he came into the pits. We came in just behind him. Luke's gained a net 2 or 3 seconds over us through the pit stop, which means that on balance, second place is about 6, possibly 7 seconds ahead of us on the road. However, yeah, we've now got a clear track, and you remember that pack that they were all racing in before we made the stop, they will be slowing each other up and they will be causing each other issues. And Ian has come out with a clear bit of road ahead of him. How it will shake out, who knows? There goes another one of the faster cars up the inside, but we didn't lose any time then, which is good. So Ian's just got one job right now, and he's got to drive every lap like a qualifying lap, because when all the pit stops shake out, hopefully we'll have shuffled back up through the pack and come out fighting for the lead. That's the plan. Plans don't always go to happen. Plans don't always happen the way that you plan them to. Yeah, getting a bit tongue-tied there, sorry. One of the advantages of pitting early is to get out and find this space. One of the disadvantages of pitting early is that if there is now a safety car, all of the cars that are yet to pit will get a free stop, and that could be very costly around Brands Hatch because it's a very short lap. Like I said, it's about a minute long. You have to be stationary in the pits for 90 seconds. Now, when we're trundling around at safety car speed, we don't get a chance to catch up the gap that the other cars have now got, so they lose much less tarmac in a safety car pit stop than we will, and we're vulnerable to that right now. We are very vulnerable. If that happens, our race is over and we've got next to no chance of catching the people that pit under the safety car. It's a risk. I've exercised that several times in the past. Sometimes it's worked to my advantage and sometimes it's cost me dearly. I think most of those examples are at Donington Park, actually. Yeah, we won the race a couple of years ago by pitting at exactly the right time, and then once upon a time we also lost the race by nearly a lap because we pitted at the wrong time. It happens, but you just got to roll the dice as you see them, and Ian did the right thing getting out of that scrap in the hope of some free circuit to hammer some lap times in, and that's exactly what he's doing. We crossed the line again. I'm afraid I still don't know what position we're in because the pit stops have messed up TSL timing, so it's very difficult to know what's going on. We can see Luke. He's about 4 or 5 cars ahead. The blue car directly in front of us, this MG, we're not racing, and then we've got a silver Clio, the one you can see on screen now, and then a white Fiesta, I think. 1, 2, 3. 4th car ahead is Luke, so that's the gap that we're trying to close down. When everything shakes out, we think Luke is going to be in 2nd position, so technically we're in 3rd, waiting for the pits to all sort themselves out, unless any Pumas slot back into that gap between us and Luke when they make their pit stops. Yeah, just got to keep the hammer down and hope that doesn't happen. So yeah, while all this was going on, I was on a holiday over in Nashville in America. My friend Jules and I decided to book tickets to go and see the final round of the IndyCar series at the Speedway. And because of the time difference, we were watching this on the CSCC live stream. We'd got the laptop open with the race on and my phone with the TSL timing, which was very difficult to follow because of the pit stops and everything. But yeah, it was about 9 o'clock in Nashville. And just to put a bit of perspective on this, this is the first time in 6 years that Woodstock's been at the track without me. And whoa, nice little cross up there, Ian. Look how hard he's trying to get the lap times in. Good to see. But yeah, first time the car's been at the track without me for 6 years, and it's a very strange feeling, especially with the time difference and the lack of info. So I want to take this opportunity to say a massive thank you to Mark and Mike. M&M. Mark and Mike have always put in a huge effort behind the scenes, not just when I'm racing, of course, but when we've got a client in the car like Ian, and they really did pull out all the stops. They managed to pick up the trailer, they got the car loaded all the way down to Brands Hatch and looked after Ian and his family brilliantly, and also looked after Woodstock brilliantly as well, as attested by Ian putting it on pole position. And Brands is about a 4.5 hour drive from Sheffield, probably a little bit more with traffic, stopping for a break, and of course when you're towing as well. So a huge effort by those boys. I am very, very grateful, and I know Ian is, and well, I know Ian is and was, and I know Ian made it clear to those boys how much he appreciated their efforts, and it's worth me reiterating it too. Yeah, couldn't go racing without them, and as it happens, they can clearly go racing without me. I was nowhere to be seen on in the paddock this weekend, and yeah, everything ran like clockwork. So a massive thank you to the boys for their efforts there. That's great. So now a few laps have gone by since we pitted, and the TSL timing has started to sort itself out. I'm showing us as P6 on the road there. That is accurate. Some of the Pumas have stopped and some of them haven't. Of the leaders, Gareth, Luke, us, and I think the Jackson car have all pitted, and the Jackson car came out ahead of us, but Marcus and Zach are yet to stop. So when they do, we should go back up to 4th place. The plan to, you know, hammer some lap times out while we've got this clear circuit, it should have gone to plan, but unfortunately it didn't really. Ian didn't do anything wrong. His lap times were good and consistent, but the cars that we were chasing, who were halfway around the lap because they'd not pitted yet, they were also hammering out some really good lap times. So the net gap was pretty much static all the way round. Now, as we crossed the line this time, TSL refreshed, and yeah, I think it was Marcus Williams had made his pit stop. So that's one place that we've clawed back, and we're now up to 5th. But yeah, it's still mission on. Can we see any of the Pumas ahead of us? Let's wait until we come out of Druids Corner and we'll get a better view. No, oh, but the white one, 2 cars ahead, is that a Puma? If it is, it'll be the Jackson and Full James car. But yeah, that crack on the windscreen, that's making it a little difficult to see who's who further ahead on the circuit. I'm going to stick my neck out and say that yes, that's the 152 car of Neil Jackson and Nick Fulljames. So with Gareth and Luke both ahead, we're now a net 4th on the road, and when Zach pit stops, then we'll go from actual 5th to actual 4th. But yeah, that seems to be how things are at the moment. But again, it's good that Ian's got clear track ahead of him. Consistent lap times, you know, just slightly shy of a minute, you know, like mid 59s, high 59s. Not as quick as Ian went in qualifying this morning. He got down to the who's that going through? One of the cars from another class. That doesn't really bother us so much. Yeah, Ian was, I think, a 58.3 for pole position. Felt he'd got a little bit more in the tank. So there is more pace in the car. However, Woodstock's been running for a lot longer now, so the tyres will be getting hot, and they get hot and sticky, and of course you want them to get sticky, but sometimes when they get a bit too hot, they go a little bit jelly, and yeah, they lose a bit of their ability to hold on to lateral grip. As you can see there by understeering out towards the edge of Clark Corner, that understeering and running wide might have been because these faster cars were coming through as well, and Ian was giving them a bit of space. Also, part of the reason that we weren't as quick as this morning, yeah, the track's just evolved, and we saw the windscreen had some raindrops on it early doors. Like I said earlier, I wasn't there. I don't know how bad the rain was, but if you can see it, it's not going to make anything any better, is it? But to the degree to what it makes things worse, yeah, that's difficult to say. But yeah, you just deal with it on the day, don't you? We run the Dunlop Duretsa tyre in both rain and sunshine, so regardless of what the weather is, we've always got the Duretsa. It's a semi-cut, semi-slick, so it's super grippy in the dry, and it provides decent grip in the rain. But what's going on here? Everyone's bunching up. We've got a slow Clio. Ian goes for the inside. Everyone's backing up. Okay, there we go. You see the yellow flashing panel? That means safety car. Well, it doesn't actually. It means slow down and be prepared to stop because there's an incident ahead and no overtaking. But further down, we see the safety car board, which is why everyone's now slowed down. Now then, this changes the dynamic of the race quite a lot, because the safety car, there it is for the car on the outside at paddock, the little red one, you might have just seen it then. This changes things because the cars ahead of us have built a bit of a gap, and we will come back to them, but we've got cars in between us. So although we'll be much closer on the road, we're still going to have cars to deal with. Fast forward in the safety car, laps, because obviously nothing happens, it's a safety car. Zach Bagwell will be very disappointed because I think he pitted only a couple of laps previous, and if he'd have managed to hang on, then he would have benefited from this safety car and could potentially have won the race. That said, the pit window may have closed at this point. I honestly don't know. If the pit window had closed, then it wouldn't have made any difference, and it's just now a race to the flag. Now I think we net this in 4th position. Gareth and Luke up front, and then Neil and Nick in the white Puma. Because of the fast forward, I can't really see who's where, but of course we've got cars between us, so although we've closed up on the road and the gap in timing has come down, with these cars in between, it's going to be tricky to properly get on their bumper and go for the start. So there we go, things have shaken out. We did overtake Zach and Nick, but you can see Ian's getting a bit frustrated here. This is a safety car restart. The pack should be bunched up together. There goes Zach on the inside. What's going on there? You can't overtake until the start line, and Zach's just gone past us and the 2 cars in front of us. You're not allowed to do that. But this Peugeot on the left-hand side with the green stripe, I don't know. I guess he's got a problem. You saw a bit of a puff of smoke, but he's meant to be on the bumper of the car in front, and that didn't happen. So look at the amount of space that we've lost. We were meant to be really, really close up tight with Luke, Gareth, Nick and Neil, but that Peugeot, whatever the issue was, it's cost us an awful lot of track time. And as it transpires, I guess Zach saw that the Peugeot had got a problem, maybe had a better view, and took it on himself to overtake a car with a mechanical issue. But the rules are quite clear. You can't overtake until the start line. And yeah, I'm afraid that's going to come back to haunt Zach in the later stages of this race. I can only assume what Ian's thinking in the car right now. You know, after the frustration of the first lap, the getting back into it, the smart move making the pit stop when he did, and then, you know, having all that track time to hammer some laps in, but it didn't really bring the pack back. A couple of near misses, getting pushed wide. You know, there's a heck of a lot going on, and that safety car should have brought it all back to us. But Ian, yeah, he must be so frustrated right now. And of course, seeing Zach ahead in, sorry to say Zach, but what's essentially an illegitimate position. And Ian knows he's got a little bit of pace over Zach, but overtaking around this track is really, really hard. So from going from pole position to last, all that drama, nicely up the inside, Ian, well done. All that drama, there's a heck of a lot to process, and part of the racing driver's psychology is to not process it. Just deal with what you've got ahead in front of you at the moment. Now, Ian's running pits car radio, so Mark and Mike will be able to inform him if Zach gets a penalty. Although sometimes the stewards don't decide this until after the end of the race, when they've got all the footage and they can get a better view of things. So if Ian wants that podium, he's going to have to go for it and overtake on the road. So, yeah, well, that's it. Whoa! Ah, heck. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. That's not good, is it? Shall I put a replay of that? I'm going to pause the voiceover and put a replay in. Hang on. Here we are at full speed down the start line then. Ian moves slightly to the left, brakes, down a gear, turns in. Back end just goes. Oh, that's such a shame. So let's have a slow motion. I might have set this a little bit too slow actually, but yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. Now, my gut feeling is that Ian turned in a fraction too late and had to put a few more degrees of steering into the steering wheel, and those extra few degrees were just enough to loosen up the back. And Paddock Hill's a really difficult bend as the gradient drops away from you, and you see, where's the wheel turn? There. And almost immediately as the wheel turns, the back went light, had a second bite of it. You can feel the car going full opposite lock, stand on the throttle, but it's never going to be enough. Never going to be enough to save that. Such a shame to end the race that way in the gravel at Paddock Hill. Gutted for you, Ian. Truly gutted, mate. I know it's cliche to say it, but motorsport really can deliver the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. And so when the lows happen, you try and take stock and be philosophical about things. And, let's look at it this way. Woodstock was undamaged. There was no contact with anyone. We didn't ruin anyone else's race. We didn't take anyone else out at the same time. And, it's these little small mercies that you're grateful for. So the race was red flagged, and this was the provisional result. I can't remember who actually won it, Luke or Gareth. Zach was in third, with Neil and Nick fourth, and Marcus in fifth. Of course, Ian, stuck in the gravel, was a DNF. Now, the reason this is a provisional result is because there were some altercations in the paddock afterwards. There were some post-race incidents, and that led to, there was a post-race incident, and Zach also got a penalty for overtaking under the safety car. I can kind of understand why he did it, but he shouldn't have done. And then Gareth and Luke were both disqualified for something that happened in the paddock after the race. So Neil and Nick, congratulations, they got their first win of the season. Marcus second on the podium, and even with the penalty, Zach managed to round out the podium in third place. Annoyingly, if Ian had just stuck it on the road, he would have got his debut win, but of course nobody wants to take a debut win in those circumstances if you don't earn it on merit on the track. So a testing weekend, but much fun had by all. Thank you so much to everyone for their support. I don't plan to be on the other side of the Atlantic for the next one. That will be at Alton Park, because we're skipping Thruxton. We'll be at Alton Park for the Puma Cup in October, I think it is. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks so much for your support. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Cheers, folks.